Hi everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is the project I'd like to share with you today. This card was modeled after the corner flip card that I made in my very first video. So there is also a pocket on the inside that will fit perhaps a tag, a little note, some wallet-sized pictures of your kids that you'd like to send to people, or even a gift card if you want to send one in your Christmas cards. And I made it using the Star of Light stamp set and the matching framelits. Now you'll also need a Night of Navy card base, and there's glitter all over it, but just adds to the beautiful sparkle. And it's a standard card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4, so it just becomes a normal standard card base. On the front, I used the mat that was 4 inches by 5 1/4. On the inside, because I didn't want the dark sky, the dark night sky effect to be lost, I used a smaller mat, and this mat is 3 inches by 4 1/4. Just had to double check. For the front, I used a piece of glimmer paper, silver glimmer paper, that was 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and Night of Navy that was 2.5 by 2.5. For the backing on the star, I used some Whisper White that was about 3 inches by 3.5 inches, just so I could fit this die on there. And for the glittery part of the star, I used some silver glimmer paper, and it's about 2.5 by 3 1/4, just enough so you can fit this on. Alright, so let's start by cutting our corner for the flip. Now this is the way the greeting card opens, so I'm going to keep that top right corner in my hand, and I'm going to open the back away from me, and then I'm going to turn the side up. So this is the right side of the greeting card up. I put it at the 3-inch mark, and let me just put a white strip there, and this is only to back so you can see the numbers on the cutting blade. It's only to, because you can't see it against the dark blue. But you go ahead and put your blade at 1/2 inch and cut it down to 3 inches. All right, then pick it up. So I have it picked up right the way it was, and we're going to flip it over and put the top up. So this is still that top right. I'm just flipping it over and putting it, so essentially I'm looking at the inside of the left inside of the card. And we're going to put that at the 3 inch as well. And let me just put that there again so you can see my cutter numbers. Now my blade is down at 3, and that's exactly where I'll start from. I'll start from the 3 and go up to 1/2 inch. All right, and that gives me the corner to flip for my card. And the next part we're going to do is we're actually just going to gently flip this back, and you want to try to line this side up, which was the top that we're flipping out, parallel to the folded side of the card. Okay? And that gives us our flip. So now we'll take our mat and we'll line it up like we were going to put it on. So it's lined up along the side and the bottom. And now we can see where those flips were. So I'm going to make just a very light mark right where the fold is on here and right where the fold is on here. And we'll bring our Stampin' Trimmer back up for a minute and just cut that at an angle. I'm going to put this line right over where the track for the cutter is and cut from the one mark to the other mark. Okay, so I just cut those off. Alright, so while we have this out, let's go ahead and get our stamping done. Now I use Soft Sky on the matte piece for the front, and I have my stamp already. And I wanted it to curl a certain way across the bottom of the front, so I did that one first. And then I went ahead and put a stamp up the side as well, just to give it a little bit of a detail. Okay. All right, let me get that square. And with Night of Navy ink, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiments. Alright, so on the front I used Star of Wonder, Star of Night. And I tried to stamp that right in the center on the bottom. I think that came out very pretty and it looks very distinct against the soft sky and the white. And for the inside, I used Guide Us to Thy Perfect Light and Merry Christmas. And I mounted these together. I used the grid on my grid paper as a guide to make sure that I was even. Alright, so I got those done. And what we'll do is we'll take the mat now and we're going to mount it to the front of the card. And how I did that is I put adhesive down the side, across the bottom, and up because I'm using that pocket on the inside and this is the side of the pocket. So I used some tear and tape because I like the fact that it gives me a distinct 1/4 of an inch adhesion line. Sorry, sometimes I can't do things and talk at the same time. Does anybody else have that problem? Alright, so down one side, across the bottom, and then just up this other side. And it still leaves it open for this pocket. Alright, we'll take out the backing. And then for the moment, flip your corner back over and match up the left side and the bottom and that little bit on the right. So if you put it back in place the way you had the mat before, okay, and then we'll just flip that corner over and it gives us a perfect mat, and it also gives us an area that we can use as a pocket. Alright, what I also like to do is to take a dimensional and put it on that corner and then just flip it over. Alright, I'm going to go ahead now because I have it already stamped and glue in this part of it, and I will use some fast fuse. And the reason this one's a bit smaller is because I didn't want it to stick out from behind behind my focal point so it would be seen. So we'll go ahead and put that inside. And you can see that corner covers it. And then now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mount my glimmer paper and my Night of Navy. Now, because I only want just a very little outline of this, it seems a shame to waste all that glimmer paper. So what I do is I'll turn it over and I put a little dot right in the middle so I know where the middle is, and then I'll take a punch, like a 1 3/4, whatever I happen to be using, and I will punch out a circle or another shape, whatever I think I might use, from the middle of my glimmer paper. And that way I have this where I can back a label or a tag or cut something else out of it, and it won't be seen because it'll be under my Night of Navy mat. Alright, so I'm going to adhere this one let me put some fast fuse and I'll adhere it to the front of my card if I can unstick it from me. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to center it in this square. So go ahead and get it so you have like a nice line all around. And unlike my other one, which was a little bit off, I'm trying to make this one a little bit more square in it. Alright, so that's really pretty. And then this one will go ahead and stick right in the middle. And I'm going to use some glue dots on this one because even though I have now some cardstock area for it to stick to, the glue dots will help it stick even to the glimmer paper. Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and line that one up and center it in the glimmer paper. Alright, so we have our base. To save a little bit of time, I already cut out my glimmer paper and my Whisper White stars, and I went ahead and glued them together. So I'll go ahead and use some dimensionals to pop it up onto my card. And I center it right in the middle. That was not sparkly. But to add a little bit more sparkle, I went ahead and used some of the Jewel Basic rhinestones. And I have some of these left. I have quite a few of them left from last year. Not the flatter ones, but I'll go ahead and use them up. And that gives a little bit more sparkle. Isn't that pretty? Now, just to finish off this right here, I went ahead and used one of the Designer Series washi, the Year of Cheer washi. Alright, so I'll go ahead and take the washi tape. And I just tuck it right next to where that piece of cardstock ends. And it just gives it a little bit more finished look. If you wanted to make a tag, I used a piece of Whisper White that was 4 inches by 2 inches, and I simply used the scallop tag topper punch. So you can go ahead and feed it in. I rounded the corners using my corner rounder punch, but if you have an envelope punch board, you can use that as well. Or you can just simply round them by hand or leave them square. It's not necessary. And then I used the Year of Cheer designer washi tape to just make a cute little pattern on the bottom. And then I used a piece of the Night of Navy seam binding ribbon, the Crinkled seam binding, and just folded it through and looped it and pulled the tails through the loop. And it makes a cute little tag that you can write a little greeting on. Now I did tuck the tails behind when I tucked it in, but you can also fit a gift card in there as well if you wish, or as I said, the wallet size photos of the kids. So that's my project today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a beautiful time of the year, and I hope you enjoy it with peace and happiness in your heart. If you need any more information on this, it will be posted on my website, rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!